Hey! Oh, welcome to KratosBI. I hope you're having the best day ever. I sure as heck am. Today we're going to be going over what the heck is Microsoft Fabric. It's just a recap for people who just keep asking me, what is Microsoft Fabric? Well, welcome to the video. We're going to be getting into it. I know. Fabric's been out for just like a year now, maybe a little bit more, but some of these components have been out for a really long time. Like, how do they fit together? Why would you want to get into it? Well, today we're going to jump into and go through what is Microsoft Fabric, right? But why do you care? Why is this important to you? Well, straight up, Microsoft Fabric is like the first all-encompassing, comprehensive data analytics platform that's available out in the cloud. It can provide all of the features and functionalities that you need in order to build and deliver a data solution. Why is that important? Well, you can see that in the video right over there. Like, you could see a 79% ROI, return on investment, in 3 years. This is a big freaking deal. And how do you do that? It's because they're all tied together. You're not standing up individual things, provisioning different things. You just grab the tool you need to do the job that you're doing. What that needs to be done, right? Like, that's straight up awesome. All right. Now, I want you to ask questions about this stuff. We're gonna make sure you're aware of how this works. So if anything is confusing to you, post those questions down below. Heck, smash the like button, share it with other people. Make sure people understand what we're doing here, what we're talking about. All right. Now let's break it down here. All right. So we got our DJ. He's gonna break it down for us. Fun fact, I was a DJ in college. I was a bad DJ in college, but I did DJing. All right. So basically, there's 3 hats, I think of it, when you're working in data. You're either going to be doing some data engineering activities, i.e., pulling in data, modeling that data, managing the data that comes in. Fabric's going to give you all the tools you need for that. There's data analytics. This is your reporting functionality. This is understanding and taking that data and gaining business insights and meaning around that data. What are you doing with that data, right? And then there's your data science. That is predictability. That's machine learning. That's all of your AI tools and capabilities, right? When you work in data, you're going to need to wear some of these hats at any point in time. Fabric allows you to put all on any one hat that you may need, depending upon the situation that you're in. So, for example, when we get into data engineering, you're going to be able to build out that classical data warehouse without any issues, right? You just go spin it up. It's going to be available you can spin up 10 of them. It doesn't matter, right? Like, all it is based upon your need, you can spin up or stand up any of these things. Or if the classical warehouse isn't something you need, and when I say warehouse, I'm talking about like SQL DW or SQL Server, right? You're trying to manage all your objects in there. It's also like your Snowflake or your Redshifts, right, of the world, right? If you need those capabilities, you could just have it. You just turn it on. Next big thing that we're starting to see is the functionality, and I kind of really like this. It's that lakehouse capability. Chris, what the heck's a lakehouse? I am so glad you asked. A lakehouse blends together what we just talked about, that classical data warehousing capabilities, with the new functionality that has been so popular in the cloud, which is the concept of a data lake. The challenge that we had with the data lake was it could hold anything. You could put in CSV files, you could put in XML files, JSON files, you could put in audio, video, whatever you want. You could just dump it in there. Fortunately, that lack of structure created all sorts of problems, and there's ways to manage it, but it's really hard. It took a lot of engineering. It honestly, it was a pain in the but now with the lakehouse, you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get that form, you get that structure, you get that data consistency, but you also allow for those things like videos, images, voice recording, that type of thing. All right, so those things, you just have that inside Fabric. You just spin them up, use them whenever you need it to. Okay. Another big thing when I put on my data engineering hat is I need to build a pipeline. I want to move data from point A to point B. I want to manage my transformations in it. I want to do all sorts of things with that data, but I want to make sure that it's flowing at a consistent basis. Fabric's got you covered there, right? Another big thing that we'll use as part of those pipelines is notebooks. Well, if you're like just in college or you're not familiar with data, the data space and the things that have been happening in there, notebooks are classically used to like make sure you keep track of information, right? Different notes that you put together all inside of a notebook. Well, notebooks have started to be used in the data transformation and data science area to like kind of track and make notes around like what transformations you're making. And they're done in Python and you can leverage SQL and they're like super powerful. And for like, I think almost a decade now, they've been taught even in business schools across the US. People are using notebooks to like manage and work with data. So like makes it really easy for you to use it, and because it's all in the cloud, you don't have to worry about the challenge that we had before, which is if you're running notebooks, you're most likely running them on your laptop, and you know a lot of people didn't think about where they were storing their notebooks. And I can't tell you the number of stories I've heard about people losing the notebooks and like, oh, we had someone come in and did a bunch of work, but it was on his notebooks on his laptops, and we wiped that clean when he left, and now we've lost all that content, right? Like super bad, real pain in the neck. Notebooks and Fabrics are just managed there, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, Johnny left and we lost all of his notebooks, all of his logic and thought process, right? It's all out there, it's all in the cloud, all easy to use. And then the last big one, and this is not a comprehensive list, okay? This is just an overview for you to understand some of the big points that people are raving about in Fabric on the data engineering side. The last one I'm going to cover is the concept of shortcutting. So we could bring data into Fabric a singular time, like, and persist that data one time. It gets persisted in what's called delta files, or which are a special type of parquet files. If you're not familiar with either of those, don't worry about it. It's okay. They're basically CSV files, comma separated value files, but on steroids that allow you to do a whole bunch of other stuff to it. The great thing about this file type is it's open source. So like you can use lots of different tools to be able to access this stuff. You can use Fabric, you can use Databricks, you can use, I don't know, there's dozens of tools out there that use and can browse Delta files. But here's the big unique rub that we're going to talk about. We'll hit a little bit more on it when I talk about OneLake, is with shortcuts, you only have to manage that file one place. So if you have a customer table that's in a Delta file, you can manage that one place, and everyone else can use that customer file without having to replicate that file and start to run into duplication issues and refresh issues. Like you could cut down on that duplication of data, thus making your data estate so much easier to work with, right? Like, oh, frankly, I just love the shortcutting capabilities. It makes my life so much easier when I'm working inside of Fabric. Now, next big piece, this is your data analytics area, okay? So classically, like if you're familiar with Power BI, like this is your Power BI suite, okay? So I'm going to cover the 5 big bullet points here. Number 1, like reporting and dashboards, right? Like what is it people are using and consuming when they're looking for data? Power BI, industry leading reporting tool, fantastic, all right? Number 2, it's the concept of a semantic model. And I know you're saying like, hey, Chris, what the heck's a semantic model? And there's some videos out there that will go into much more detail around the semantic model. But I'm just going to say, to make it simple, that's what semantic models make it simple for people to access and use data inside your organization. So it's going to include all the joins. It's going to include all the calculations. It's going to include all the security, all the business jargon is kind of going to be baked into that semantic model. So it's going to have friendly names on it, and you're not going to see some weird SAP, the FAR, 204 field, right? You're not going to see any of that stuff. You're going to see things like sales, and you're going to see things like customer, and it's going to be really easy to read and understand. All right. Through that, number three, that semantic model is going to bring that data integration. It's going to include those joins from one table to another, and it's going to do it in a very performant and specific pattern, so it's easy for people to use, and you don't have to worry about like, I didn't get these joins right, so I'm not getting the right information back. All of that integration's already going to have occurred inside that semantic layer. What that's going to do is allow for number four, that data analytics area. Okay, so you can actually build in and do some deep dive data analytics, and it becomes really easy for people who are smart and know about the business and understand data to be able to quote unquote just use the data without having to worry about learning how to access data, learning how to write queries, learning how to like troubleshoot, dedupe, all those things. You're going to be able to set those to the side and be able to just look at the data, be able to trust what you're looking at, and be able to gain insights from that, and really shorten the time from an insight to be able to take action, right? And then the last really big item that we have in here is collaboration and sharing. All right. The ability to share these different aspects inside of the Power BI service and then allow users to consume it online, on their phone, embedded inside of different applications, be able to freely work back and forth with others in analytics is just, it is second to none. It is awesome. The results and the solutions you can build out using Microsoft Fabric. Now, when we talk about data science, this is where we're really starting to take some amazing steps forward, right? In the past, data engineering, data analytics, they were all using their own tools, all using their own data. Those data scientists were often forgot about, or like you'd have to ship data over to them. Gone. Those days are gone. That whole ability to just access that same data that the data engineers or analysts are using, all accessible via shortcuts, all accessible via those Delta files we were talking about, which makes data exploration like your primary focus. And you can now then take advantage of all of the work everyone else has done to prepare the data. So it just makes your life as a data scientist so much easier. All right. Which leads right into now you can do all sorts of crazy experimentation and modeling of that data to find insights that are that either, and if you're a data scientist, you're gonna be familiar with this, or if you want to be a data scientist, you're gonna be creating models, and some models are gonna tell you, yes, definitively there are some insights here, and you can take these actions, and you can kind of figure that out, that there are things that you can do. But almost as importantly, there are gonna be some models that say, hey, you know what? No, there's nothing here of special insights, right? It's through experimentation, it's through modeling that's going to help you discern when you can do something or not, right? Which is, again, just another fantastic thing. And because this is all cloud based and everything is kept in the cloud, that the thing I was talking about with notebooks and data engineering, that holds true within the data science space. So you as a data scientist with working with other data scientists, you can all use the same notebooks, you can use the same data, you can have the same models, experiments, all that stuff is accessible to you in the cloud, so you can all team together and work together on the same stuff, and you don't have to worry about like the crazy hoops, like you have to jump through today in order to share this information. It's just natively integrated and shared, right? And and that leads to our next thing, that operationalization and deployment. Holy crap. Remember we're talking about like at the start of the data science, like, hey, data engineering is over there and data science is over there and data analytics is in a different place. And the amount of time it took to share information or insights back and forth was really long. In fact, I have seen in the case where a data scientist would come up with a valid, useful insight, and it took over 30 months for that information to go back to data engineering, for them to be able to take that, transform that, and load that to a place where analysts could use it, and then to be able to move that to a place where people could consume it. Think of all the lost opportunities in there. Because you're working in a universal, comprehensive data analytics platform, you go right from being able to have an insight to publishing that, because you're in the same place all these things are done. You could just take that insight and add it into the analytics solution without having to re-engineer, re-architect, or redo anything. And you can just radically collapse the amount of time it takes for organizations to take advantage of the insights our data scientists are coming up with. I saw somewhere that around that like 99% of data science insights are lost due to this. Think of 100xing the performance of your data science teams and the benefits your company's getting. That's amazing, right? And then the last overview, this is kind of a general bucket we're going to be talking about here, is these three capabilities kind of come with Azure or come with Fabric, but are so notable, I want to call them out. Number one being OneLake. You know how I said, hey, you're going to be able to create your files in Delta Lake and share them with shortcuts? How the heck does that happen? It's through the OneLake service, which, and it's becoming trite now, but if you're watching this overview, you probably haven't seen this. OneLake is for data what OneDrive is for files, right? So you know how we use OneDrive to share Excel files and PowerPoint and Word documents or whatever type of files inside of OneDrive. Well, OneLake allows us that type of flexibility, but in the data sphere, right? So those Delta files and those tables and that information that's coming in, we have to manage it in one place. We have to govern it in one place. We have to define it in one place. But then we could share it via shortcuts in the same way that we share information in OneDrive. We do that in OneLake, making it very accessible for other people, okay? Which leads me right into what is Purview. Purview is an integrated governance and security tooling that Microsoft has that amazingly, and frankly, I don't know any other tool that has the option to integrate from source all the way through to like your DLP procedures, and like that actually touches workstations and touches VMs and touches laptops and whatever it is, right? Like Purview, because it's a Microsoft Universal Cloud product, it's able to go broadly across your organization to create governance, to create security, and to make sure that you're not accidentally spreading information that you shouldn't outside your organization. And that all leads right into like our Entra ID, which is how we define users, share security, create user groups, that type of thing. If you've never heard of Entra ID, it's Active Directory, except for in the cloud, and they used to call it Azure Active Directory. They rebranded it because technically it really is different pieces of technology. If you go in and look at how Active Directory works versus how Entra works, it's different tech. Same kind of goals, but really different tech, so they gave it different names to separate them, because like there's some functionalities that Active Directory has that Entra has or doesn't have, and there's functionality that Entra has a whole swath of capabilities that Active Directory can't even touch, or just doesn't even have to do with, because it's on-prem versus cloud, right? So three big tools that are also a good part of the Fabric sphere. All right, now the big benefit here is Fabric is for literally everyone, okay? Because it is built with a low-code front end, meaning you could go, I swear to everything holy, you can go in, you can start in Fabric, and you can do data engineering activities, data analytics, or data science capabilities without knowing anything. And you can come up with the right answers. You could start down that journey using the low-code capabilities, where it's just, for the most part, drag and drop in a lot of places to just make these things happen for you. All right. So it's got a low code, like first start there. And then you only have to go into that pro code backend when you need to or have to, or you need some real like root level capabilities. This environment is designed to, like, it's all of the low code tools is using the exact same pro code backend capabilities. So you can easily move between either one of those, depending upon what your individual need is, which basically means this entire platform can be worked by virtually everyone can get started and working inside of Microsoft Fabric. If you're in business today, this is a straight up game changer. All right. Now, the big advantage here comes by like what's the topic that everyone's talking about? It's Copilot, it's AI, it's generative AI. Well, now you as a developer inside of Fabric, you've got tons of features and functionality that are out today and more coming in the future to help you deliver faster, better, smarter using Copilot. But here's one that people often miss. The entire Fabric team of engineers, and there's like hundreds, if not thousands, of engineers are building out Fabric today. They're all using Copilot to rapidly accelerate their development, making their code better and faster than we've ever seen before in software development. In fact, I have it on. This is not a public thing that I've ever heard, but I don't think it's an NDA thing either. I hope it's not an NDA thing, but this is just a casual conversation. Microsoft engineers, like if you talk with them, I was talking with one who said he took 3 months of work to see how quickly he could get that done, and he knocked out those 3 months of work in 2 weeks. And he said his code was better and faster than ever because Copilot was able to generate all the integration scripts and all the regression scripts they just really never had time to like fully flesh out historically. So he's 12 times faster, and he's like 12 times, no, 6 times faster, and the quality is so much better, right? That means okay, so Fabric's been out for a year, they've been doing that for a year. So Fabric in many ways code wise is 6 years, as mature as a 6-year-old platform is. So that is an amazing thing. So it's not just you can get started in Fabric and you can use Copilot, which you can, and that's awesome. But the platform itself is just rapidly evolving, and it's evolving better and faster than anything else you've ever seen from Microsoft. All right, what are the next steps for you? If you want to get started, all right, what do you do? All right, well, number one, make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel right here. So get in there, subscribe to the channel, right? Watch all my videos. I think I'm over 600 now. I gotta be approaching. Maybe I'm approaching 700. Right, but I got hundreds of videos on Microsoft Fabric, so check those out. Number two, head over to Microsoft Learn. There is a getting started with Microsoft Fabric a video out or learning session out there. Frankly, I should leave a link down below, but I'm really bad at that. Apologies if I forget to do that. But go check it out. It's fantastic. And then number three. One, two, three. Okay, number three, get connected with the community. There are so many Fabric user groups out there. Like they're all over the U.S., they're all over Europe, they're in South America, Africa. Like I don't think we have any in Antarctica, so I'm terribly sorry about that. But regardless, wherever you are, there are Fabric user groups that are out there. Do connect with them. If you're looking to connect with one that maybe there isn't one near you, or they're not active or whatever, right? You just don't like them or something like that. Connect with the Madison Fabric user group. We're going to be doing more videos. We're going to be doing more things online. So connect with us there. All right. All right. And if you need more help, head over to KratosBI.com. Click on Get Yourself Some Help. It's right at the top of my website. And it'll send me an email. I do consulting, right? I got a team. I got many teams, actually. We'll give you a hand. We'll get you up and running. All right. I hope you found this useful. I hope this really helps sort out, what is all this Fabric stuff that's out there? If you, as I said, if you have questions, reach out. You have the best day ever. and have a good one. Take care. Peace. Baker Tilly Digital combines strategic industry insight and advanced technical expertise to uncover and solve your digital transformation challenges. If you're interested in learning more, check out our website at bakertilly.com/digital.